A few years ago, I wanted to start owning chickens for the first time. I had been excited about my progress and learning how to utilize my garden, so I figured that the next logical step was to begin raising chickens. But unfortunately, one Google search later told me that at the time, my city only allowed me to have one chicken. Just one chicken as a pet, and that's all I was allowed. That's all it took for me to say, well, I can't own any chickens, so therefore I'm not gonna do it. If that sounds like you, let me be the one to tell you, just do it anyways. If you also did a Google search and it didn't outright say chickens are banned where you live, chances are it's probably legal for you to own chickens. And I'm gonna give you a few motivational reasons why you should start, even if it tells you that you can only own one. My name is Jeff, and I've been raising chickens for 1 year now. And I am here today to encourage you to start your own backyard flock. No matter where you live, what your circumstances are, I am gonna break through and convince you to give it a shot regardless. If you did a Google search like me, and it told you that you were only allowed one chicken, just go ahead and do it anyways. Just get more than one. Make it 10 if it says one, provided you have the appropriate space, of course. I mean, we're not talking about raising chickens in the undercubby. We're not talking about raising chickens in a downtown Chicago apartment. I'm talking about if you own a home like me and you have yard space like me and you wanted to keep chickens, but you convinced yourself that you can't because Google told you that you're only allowed one or two, then do it anyways. Get more anyways. You're not going to regret doing it, but you are going to regret not doing it if you don't do it anyways. I'm telling you. Let me give you a couple of reasons why it's so important for you to just do it anyways, like even against what Google says, okay? First and foremost, nobody cares. How many neighbors do you know? I personally know, let's see here, I know him, them, her, them, her. Yeah, so I know all of my neighbors right around my immediate house. I'm kind of on good terms with the neighbors behind my house. One of my neighbors over there, now that I think about it, was one of my old coworkers before he left my work. I mean, I basically know all of my neighbors. How many of your neighbors do you know? If you don't know your neighbors, then you don't know if they're gonna have an issue with you having chickens or not. So if I were you and I had just moved into a place and I had new neighbors that I didn't know, or otherwise, if I had been living at my house for a year or 2 years and I just never got around to knowing my neighbors, honestly, just cold approach your neighbors. If you ever see them outside, you can go up and say, hey, how you doing? I live in this house over here. I know I haven't seen you much, but you know, this is me, and hey, I'm thinking about getting chickens soon. What's your thoughts on chickens? You know, do you have any questions, concerns about it? You know, just like make it clear that you're going to do the thing that you're saying that you're gonna do. Make other people aware of your intentions on what you're gonna do. Because the last thing that you wanna do is just remain a hermit, get chickens, and then it turns out that you do have an a-hole neighbor that just for whatever reason has an issue with you having chickens. And that's another thing that stops a lot of people from getting chickens to begin with, is that a lot of people think that chickens are noisy. They are only noisy when they lay an egg. When they lay an egg, they are noisy as heck for like a minute, and then they quiet down, and then nobody knows that they even exist. Of course, obviously the exception are roosters, which roosters, yes, they're gonna do the cock-a-doodle-doo every 5 minutes, okay? You can't stop that. But if you don't have any roosters, you just have hens, and those hens are giving you eggs, nobody's gonna care. They're just gonna hear a chicken occasionally do the little egg song thing that chickens do when they lay an egg, and then that's it. It's like once a day from one chicken. It's genuinely not even a big deal. They are not noisy. They're not stinky. There's no reason for you to fear what other people are going to be thinking about you if you get chickens. And even if they do worry about it, you can alleviate their concerns by telling them that chickens aren't noisy, they're not stinky, they're not hard to take care of. They probably won't even know that you have any chickens. Another thing is that, like, police have better things to do than to go be chicken police, okay? They're not busy strolling around your neighborhood, binoculars in hand, looking out for if somebody has 2 or 3 more chickens than is legally allowed. They're not going to come knocking at your door, bashing down, hey, here's the police, here's the SWAT team. You have too many chickens, sir. You need to get rid of them. Police have so many different things that they have to do. They are not worrying about your chickens, okay? I promise you. The only time that police would ever come to your house is if you obviously have like way too many chickens, like 50 chickens in a small area. Obviously, that's going to catch attention. Or if somebody does end up calling the police on you and saying, hey, this guy has chickens in their backyard, maybe the police are going to come by and then they'll knock on your door. They'll say, hey, we got a call about, illegal chickens. And then they're going to look in your backyard and they'll count them. They'll be like, oh, okay, you have 4 chickens, legal limits 2. It's whatever. We don't really care. Because they have way better things to do than to be worrying about somebody that has 2 more chickens than the legal limit. They're too busy hiding around corners at speed trap zones, getting people traffic tickets for speeding in speed traps. Okay, they have way more important business than worrying about you and your chickens. Well, okay, so what if your thoughts aren't social then? What if your thoughts are rather emotional? What if instead of social pressure, you instead fear the fact that what if one of your chickens dies? Or what if this, what if that? What if all of your what ifs are what's preventing you from getting the chickens? Well, here's the wonderful thing about chickens and life in general. Chickens tend to want to stay alive. They don't go out of their way to just cross the road and then get hit by a car, They tend to want to stay alive as much as you and I do. So if your concern is that you're going to mess something up or something's going to go wrong or you're going to lose your entire flock, 1, check out my video about the esoteric brooder box for health maxing your chicks. But 2, just know that your chickens are going to give you obvious signs about something being wrong. If they're hungry, they're going to squawk at you and they're going to let you know. If they're sick, they're going to be lethargic, laying around, and they're going to be like shaking their head, or they'll have runoff out of their nose, or they'll have like a closed eye. There's so many different ways to see what's wrong with the chicken. That is genuinely not even an excuse. It's not even worth your time or energy worrying about the what ifs of chicken keeping until you actually get to the point of having chickens. And then if something pops up, you can worry about it then. But I'm telling you right now, I've had 9 chickens for the last year. This is my first time ever owning chickens, and I haven't had any issues. None of them have gotten sick. I've only lost 1 to a stray dog, but that was also my fault for not keeping it in the yard. I haven't had any issues with any water freezing. I haven't had any underfeeding issues. Honestly, there's been more benefits to owning the chickens than I ever thought. I only have to get rid of my garbage once every 3 weeks or a month. The garbage truck doesn't even need to stop by my house every week because we have such little kitchen waste and waste around the house because we reuse so much of it now because our chickens eat everything that we throw at them. But I'm telling you that if you take the proper precautions of making sure that your chicks are healthy from the start, and then you raise your chickens well, you give them plenty of room, you give them plenty of water, give them plenty of food, they are going to take care of themselves. You have nothing to worry about. Just make sure that you take good care of them, put lots of love in them, and they're going to give a lot of love back to you in return in the form of their eggs, in the form of their entertainment, in the form of just them respecting you and wanting to be around you. You'd be surprised at how social chickens are. Obviously, they have pecking orders and everything, and you are part of that pecking order. You are the big boss chick. You are the leader of their flock. Even though you're not around them all of the time, they are still going to respect you as the leader. So whenever you go outside and then you initially take a step out and then you go to one part of the yard, all of the chickens are going to come from out of the woodwork and go to that part of the yard. And then they will follow you around as you are walking around the yard. At least that's my experience. Who knows? Maybe different chickens have different temperaments. But all 9 of my chickens have always followed me around, and it's been so cute every single time. But anyways, I hope I've at least alleviated some of the worries about social pressures or police pressures or even emotional pressures when it comes to starting chickens. I'm telling you, If you think it's illegal to own chickens, it's probably not. If you think that other people are gonna have a problem with you owning chickens, they're probably not. If you think it's too emotionally taxing to own them, no, it's not. It's emotionally fulfilling to earn them. The only emotional tax is gonna come whenever something unfortunate happens, okay? And that's it. But that's also just part of owning life, owning pets. You've owned pets before. You probably owned a cat or a dog before. And the emotional fulfillment and the memories that those pets gave you outweigh the emotional baggage that came with the passing of that pet, didn't it? You have so many good, fond memories of that specific pet. And it'll be the same thing with your chickens. They will live, they will do fine, I promise you. But if you have any other concerns at all, or you have any thoughts whatsoever, whatever your limiting belief is, let me know in the comments below and I will help you. You can do this. You got this. I promise.